At the top of the phone, you will see a high resolution color display. Right below it, there's 4 buttons. These will correspond to the 4 buttons shown directly above on the screen. Now, they may change depending on which menu you're currently in. Right below it, we have our check and an X. These can either start a call, end a call, or confirm or escape from a menu that you are currently in. We also have this wheel that will help you navigate through menus, and the center button will help you press OK or confirm your selection. We have a D and D button over here. That is our Do Not Disturb. When you click it, you will not receive any phone calls because you are in a Do Not Disturb state. We also have our Retrieve Voicemails button. When you click this button, you'll be brought to your voicemail so you can hear all of those messages. Right here is our directory button. This will bring you to your personal or your company's directory so you can see all of those phone numbers listed out. We also have a settings button that will bring you to the settings of your phone. We have a transfer button. We will be talking more about how to transfer calls later on in this video. We also have a hold button. This will put the person that you are talking on the phone with on hold. We have our standard keypad down here. At the bottom, we have a mute button so that the person you are on the phone with cannot hear you. We have our volume to turn it up or down, depending on your preference. We have our speaker button, so that way you can put your call on speakerphone. We have our headset button, so if you do have a headset connected to your phone, it will automatically transfer the call from your phone to your headset. We also have our programmable keys. There's a total of 24 programmable keys on this phone. You can see that we have some selections up here, and if you need to page through, you just hit our left and right buttons and you can page through to the rest of your 24 programmable keys. On the back of your phone, you have 2 gigabit Ethernet ports to allow for full gigabit pass-through, and to conclude, there is also Bluetooth connectivity with this phone. There are many ways to answer and end calls. If a call comes through on your telephone, the simplest way may be to pick up your handset, talk on the phone, and when you're finished, you may simply return it to its starting position. That will end your call. The second way you may do this is using the speaker button. You may simply press the speaker button to answer the call. When you're finished, you may press the speaker button again to end the call. Next way is when you get a call, you will see it on your display. You can hit the checkbox that will automatically put it on speaker for you to talk. Now when you want to end a call, you may hit the X. Now the X button will end all calls no matter how you have answered them. The last way depends on if you have a headset. If you have a headset, you may press the headset button to automatically answer it on your headset. Depending on which headset you have, you may also have the functionality of answering the call directly from your headset. In order to hang up when using your headset, you may be able to press the headset button, or you may be able to hang up directly from your headset, depending if you have that functionality. If you have just answered a phone call, as seen on this phone right here, you can put the person on hold by either selecting the hold button located right above the 3, or as you can see on my screen, this button here has now changed to a hold, so I will put my person on hold. Now you may have noticed that it does go back to the dial tone, so I can either make another call or do a transfer, whatever I may need. You may notice that there is a blinking light down here. If you have your designated line keys or shared parking spots, you can use these keys that are blinking red right here as a way to return to the person. So to take the person off hold, you may hit the hold button again, or in this case, we have our blinking red light, so you just click it again, and now I'm connected to my original caller. Let's say a second line has called in while the first is on hold. As you can see now, there's a conference option to conference the calls all together. You can see that this phone happens to have 2 designated line keys just for the parties on hold on this phone. So you can switch between the 2 either using these keys, or a nice function is you will see our right and our left keys. So they will help you go through the 2 lines that may be on hold. And if you need to transfer, you just use your left and right keys and you will see that you should be able to transfer either call. In order to retrieve, you may, let's say I want to retrieve Robert Navarro, I'll just take him off of hold and now I can talk to him. In order to end our call, we can just X out, and now I still have Caitlin Gibbs on hold. I may answer her phone and talk to her as I need. We're going to learn how to transfer calls. I'm going to use a scenario to help explain the situation. Let's say that this is the receptionist's phone and I'm the receptionist. Let's say I'm going to get a call from a customer and they would like to talk to a specific sales rep. There's two different options for transfers. The first is a blind transfer. This means that when the customer calls in, I would automatically transfer them to the specific sales representative. The sales representative would have no idea that this call was coming in until they were getting that phone call from the customer that I transferred. The second way is to do an intended transfer. That means I will put the customer that is calling in on hold. I will then call the sales representative. I will warn them that there's a customer that will be getting transferred over, and then I will complete the transfer of the phone call over to the specific sales representative. So as you can see, the intended transfer gives the person in your company a heads up that someone will be transferring in, and it does give them an option to tell you, no, I'm busy right now, I do not want to have the transfer phone call. Whereas in a blind transfer, you're blindly transferring them over and they have to deal with the phone call from there on out. So as you see, I have a customer that has just called in. To blindly transfer it, I can hit either the transfer button right here, or I can hit the transfer button right here on our phone. So let's say I'm going to transfer it, and I'm going to transfer it to the party at this extension, and it will automatically ring off to that sales representative. As you can see, it has rung off to the sales representative, and now they're no longer on my phone. So the phone call, there's no one there. I transferred it off, and now I'm open to receive more phone calls. Now I'm going to show you an intended transfer. Let's say that the customer has just called in and they're asking for a specific sales representative. The first thing that I am going to do is to put them on hold by either pressing our hold button here or the hold button up here. So I'm putting the person on hold. The next thing is I want to do an intended transfer. So I'm going to hit our transfer button, and then I'm going to want to press the intended. But first I'm going to dial the number. So let's say I would like to talk to the person at this extension. I dial the extension and then I click attended. I'm going to then be able to be connected with my sales representative. I can tell them that John Smith is on the phone. As long as he agrees that he would like to talk to that person, then I can hit transfer and they will be transferred. And then now my phone is returned to back. I have nobody on call. As you can see, the light went out, so I'm back to just waiting for a call. Another thing that I can do is, let's say that I talked to my sales representative and he said he does not want to talk to John Smith. And then I can X out of the call, and then I'll be reconnected with the original customer. I may have to take him off call, and then I can tell him, I'm so sorry, our sales representative is busy right now. If you'd like, I can take a message, or you can transfer them to somebody else. And that is how you do a simple attended transfer. In this scenario, I will be talking about how to make a conference call. So let's say we have someone who has just called in. I have answered them, I've talked to them. I'm going to place them on hold. The next thing I'm going to do is dial the number that I desire to have a transfer, a conference call with. So now I've dialed the number that I'd like to have a conference call with. It is calling this number, and the person has picked up. We are now connected. Now you're going to look up here on your screen. You're going to see that we have a conference button. It's like a little triangle. You're going to click on that, and now all three of us, so myself, the person who was called in initially, and the person that I called, all three of us are in a conference call. If I need to add someone else into our conference call, what I'm going to do is press hold again. This will put the conference call on hold for me, so I may dial into a new person. So let's say I want to add in another extension. I'm going to dial that extension. It is going to ring off, And now I'm going to add them to our conference by clicking our conference key again. So now all four of us are in the conference call. Myself, the person who called in, and the two people I've now called out to. If I would like to leave the conference call so they may have their own conference calls, I can simply click X, hang up my phone, however I would like to end my call. And those three people then are left to have a conference call on their own.